Hello friends, welcome back to a new English class. It is the class for class 9. The first topic is all comprehensive questions and answers. The topic's name is the priceless gift. ଆମେ ଏଇ ଭିଡ଼ିଓରେ ଆଜି ଆମେ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ କମ୍ପ୍ରିହେନ୍ସିଭ୍ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଏବଂ ତା'ର ଆନ୍ସର୍ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ଦେଖିବା ଏବଂ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଅପଲୋଡ଼ କରିକି ମୁଁ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଭୋକାବୁଲାରୀ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆନ୍ସର୍ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ମୁଁ ସମାଧାନ କରିଦେବି। ଯଦି କେହି ମୋ ଚ୍ୟାନେଲରେ ନୂଆ ଥାନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଚ୍ୟାନେଲଟିକୁ ସବସ୍କ୍ରାଇବ୍ କରିବେ, ଲାଇକ୍ କରିବେ ଏବଂ ସେୟାର ମଧ୍ୟ କରିବେ ସାଙ୍ଗମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଏବଂ ବେଲ୍ ଆଇକନ୍ଟିକୁ ଦବାଇ ଦେଇଥିବେ, ଯାହାଫଳରେ କି ଆମେ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ଗୁଡ଼ିକର ନୋଟିଫିକେସନ୍ ଅତି ସହଜରେ ପାଇପାରିବା। ତାହେଲେ ଏବେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା ପ୍ରଥମ ବିଷୟ ତ ପ୍ରାଇସଲେସ୍ ଗିଫ୍ଟର କମ୍ପ୍ରିହେନ୍ସିଭ୍ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ନମ୍ବର 1। କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ଟି ରହିଛି, ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଡିଡ୍ ଦ ରାଇଟର ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ ଇନ୍ ଦ ରେଷ୍ଟୁରାଣ୍ଟ। ରାଇଟରଙ୍କର ଅଭିଜ୍ଞତାଟା ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଭେଜିଟେରିଆନ୍ ରେଷ୍ଟୁରାଣ୍ଟକୁ ଯାଇଥିଲେ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା? ଦ ରାଇଟର went to a vegetarian restaurant in the lunch time. The restaurant was crowded. The writer chose the corner table and skimmed through the newspaper. What did he notice there? The writer noticed a very young girl looking at him. Her eyes were large and they had a sad expression. When she was going out, she asked the cashier in a low voice that whether the writer was an Indian. ତା ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ନମ୍ବର 3 ନମ୍ବର, what was the writer's first impression of the girl? The writer noticed a young girl whose eyes were large and had a sad expression, and when she inquired about him to the cashier, the writer became curious. Her eyes that had sad emotions made him think that the girl had some problem. What made the writer surprised? The writer, when ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ବସିଥିଲେ ସେ କ'ଣ ପାଇଁକା ସରପ୍ରାଇଜ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଥିଲେ ବା ଆଶ୍ଚର୍ଯ୍ୟଜନିତ ତାଙ୍କୁ କାହିଁକି ଲାଗିଥିଲା ସେ ବିଷୟରେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ଟି ରହିଛି। ଦ ଗାର୍ଲ ୱାଜ୍ ଲୁକିଂ ଆଟ୍ ଦ ରାଇଟର ଆଣ୍ଡ ୱାଣ୍ଟେଡ୍ ଟୁ ନୋ whether he was an Indian from the cashier. When she inquired about him to the cashier and once again looked at the writer was surprised. As she was unknown to the writer, that's why the writer got surprised. Why did he inquire from the cashier? He noticed that the girl was interested to know about him, and when she asked the cashier about the writer, it made writer curious to know what it was exactly. ଏଠି କିନା ଡବଲ୍ ରାଇଟିଂ ହେଇଯାଇଛି, ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି, ୱାଜ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି, it was exactly. So he went to the cashier and inquired about the girl from him. 6 number, what information did he get from the cashier? The cashier told the writer that the girl went to that restaurant on Saturdays. She went to the restaurant and paid day only because she did not earn much. Where did the writer go on the next Saturday? The writer went to the same restaurant where he had noticed that young girl. Why did he arrange the chair opposite hers? The writer went to the same restaurant and saw the same girl sitting at the same table as before. He took the chair opposite her and arranged opposite to her because he wanted to have a conversation with her. What query did the girl make about the writer? The girl asked the writer whether he was an Indian. 10 number, what impression did the writer have about the family of the girl? The writer came to know from the girl that her brother was a soldier and was serving in India. Her brother was the only guardian of her family. She lived with her widow mother. The writer understood that the both of them, especially her mother, wanted to know about him. He was worried of him. How was the writer treated at Maggie's house? Who was there to welcome him? The writer went to Maggie's house with her. He was welcomed with eagerness and smile heartfully. He was treated with happiness and respect. Mrs. Bethe, Maggie's mother, welcomed him. What was Mrs. Bethe doing when the writer met her? Why was she unwilling to go for a handshake? Mrs. Bethe was making cakes when the writer met her. As her hands were covered with flour, she was not able to go for a handshake. 13 number question. Why did the girl usually visit the restaurant on Saturdays? The girl did not earn much. She visited the restaurant on Saturdays because it was her payday. What did Mrs. Bethe believe about the ring? Mrs. Bethe had believed that the ring was special and magical. She believed that one can know about a distant person when one gazes into it and concentrates on it. What made the author to tell a lie about the ring? Maggie insisted the author to look into the ring and tell her mother that Frankie was alive and well. As her mother was aggravated for her son and got sick, the author thought that it would not be okay to lie once for making Mrs. Bethe recover from her illness. Did the telling of a lie benefit Mrs. Bethe? Yes, telling of a lie did benefit Mrs. Bethe. When the author looked into the ring and told Mrs. Bethe that Frankie was alive and well, she raised her head a little of the pillow. The news made her happy and soon she was recovered from illness, severe illness. Why did the writer feel guilty about himself? When the writer calculated and realized that Frankie had been killed before some day, when he had lied about his well-being to his mother, the realization of his lie made him feel guilty. What was Maggie's gift to the writer? When the writer told Maggie that he was going to India, he also told her that he would visit her brother's grave and write to her. Then Maggie thanked him and gave him a shilling, which she had earned with too much toil. She wanted the author to buy flowers from a shilling and lay on her brother's grave. A shilling earned from her hard work was Maggie's gift to the writer. ମୁଁ କିଛି ୱାର୍ଡ଼ ଏଥିରୁ ମିସିଂ କରିଦେଇଛି, ଯେଉଁଟା ମୁଁ କହିଲା ବେଳେ ମଧ୍ୟ ବି ଫୁଲ୍ କରିଦେଉଛି, ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦେଇଥିବା ଲେଖିଲା ବେଳେ ନୋଟ୍ କଲାବେଳେ. Why was it a priceless gift? The girl's economic condition was not so good and she earned every penny with much toil. A shilling that she earned with much toil represents her greatest gift for her brother. It shows her unconditional love for him. Did Maggie love her brother dearly? Give reason. Really, Maggie loved her brother Frankie with all her heart. Her love for him was unconditional. She had to take much efforts to earn single penny, and she kept a shilling for buying flowers for her brother's grave. This act shows how deep her love was for her brother. ये थिला प्रथम सेक्शन जो 20 क्वेश्चन आंसर. तापरे हम देखिबा लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द टेक्स्ट बेटर रा किछि क्वेश्चन आंसर. प्रथम क्वेश्चन टे रहिछि व्हाई डिड द राइटर चूज द कॉर्नर टेबल इन द रेस्टोरेंट. The writer went to a vegetarian restaurant. The restaurant was crowded and some of the chairs and tables had been pushed into a corner. So the writer chose the corner table and skimmed through the newspaper. As in the corner side all the chairs and tables are available there. How did the writer start a conversation with a young girl? The writer went to the same restaurant and saw the same young girl seated on the same chair. He sat opposite to her and wished her good afternoon. In this way, he started a conversation with the young girl. How could the writer guess the girl to be poverty stricken? When the writer noticed the girl for the first time, he saw that her eyes were sad. Then he got to know from the cashier that she visited the restaurant only on Saturdays, which were her pay days. From the above details, the writer guessed that the girl was stricken by poverty. Which of the following do you think the author will talk about after meeting the girl? Meeting the girl, inquiry about her nature of work, about her family, all the above. I was moved by what he said. What impression did the writer get about the girl? When the cashier told the writer that the girl visited only her pay days, Saturdays, the writer was shocked. He felt sad for that young girl who worked so hard and yearned. What impression did the girl have on India? The girl had a decent knowledge about India. The girl and her mother wanted to know about India more from the writer. They both thought that there were many snakes and tigers in India, and those animals killed people. They also believed that the ring that Frankie had sent them from India was magical and could tell about the distant person when gazed at it. Maggie read in books that Indian people love the truth. Will it be too much of a lie? Why did the girl say so? The girl's mother was ill and this made the girl worried. She requested the writer to look into the ring and tell her mother that his son was alive and well. She told him lie to make her mother feel fine, and it was just a white lie. She thought that such white lie would not be too much to ask for, so she insisted the writer to lie. Why did the writer feel ashamed to face Mrs. Bethe at the time of his return to India? The writer went to meet Mrs. Bethe and Maggie before leaving to India. He then came to know that both of them were in mourning and Frankie had been killed on the frontier. He then calculated and found that Frankie had died before some days. He told Mrs. Bethe that he was alive and well. This made him guilty. His lie made feel ashamed to face Mrs. Bethe at the time of his departure. No number, antim number. Why was the shilling Maggie presented to the writer was an invaluable offering? Maggie did not earn much. Whatever she earned, it was after much toil, and she gave a shilling to the writer to buy flowers to keep on her brother's grave. A shilling holds much value in her life, and that she offered to the writer. A shilling was more than a penny. It was the greatest gift. It was symbol of love and sacrifice for her brother. तो एतिक थिला हमर ए वीडियो रे मु प्रत्येक क्वेश्चन आंसर तो कर देथिल कॉम्प्रिहेंशन क्वेश्चन आंसर तापर हमें लेट्स लर्न सम वर्ड्स विषय जति जो वोकाबुलरी क्वेश्चन आंसर दे से विषय आलोचना करिवे से पर्यंत रहूची धन्यवाद देखिथिबारु पूर्ण मात्रा रे वीडियोटी को जदि चाहते नोट तो पाइक ताल मेसेज करदे निहती भाव यार गोटे पीडीएफटा बनईकि डिस्क्रिप्शन मध्य दे देथिबे पुणी थे कहूँ जदि कहीं मो वीडियो नुआ था निहती भाव सब्सक्राइब करेंगे लाइक करेंगे शेयर करेंगे सब्सक्राइब कौन सब्सक्रिप्शन चार्जेस ही पड़नी बरं टे प्रोत्साहित हबु आम जदि सब्सक्राइब आपण मैंने करेंगे तेणु रही पुणी थे देखा आगामी वीडियो रे धन्यवाद।